It was just too much. Wow, this thing is really rough, boy. Med school is whew. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is like the third or fourth try of me trying to make this video. I had a whole intro, a nice amazing intro prepared, but I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but I'm sick. Okay, I am not doing well right now. I'm not. So in the first intro that I made, that thing was just beautiful, and then afterwards I started feeling sick, and I could not match the energy that I was giving off in that intro because I was just so peachy and perky and pretty much just me. You know how I am. But my energy just got so drained after, and I could not match the energy that I was giving off, so I had to make a whole new one, and that is what you're seeing right now. So yeah. If you're new to my channel, I'm sorry, but normally I am a very peachy and perky and like, ooh, type of person, but I'm not feeling well right now, so yeah, that's not what you're gonna get. But you can feel free to watch any other video and see how I usually am. Yeah, so let's stop all the rambling and talk about the fact that I'm finished with my first ever clinical rotation. I am so happy to be done with that. Guys, I have never felt more pressured by school ever in my life than in the past 12 weeks. I have never. You know, I knew clinical rotations were rough based on, you know, YouTube videos, what people have said and all that. But I didn't know it was that rough. Ah, boy. Expectations versus reality. Am I right or am I right? I don't know. Where should I begin? I feel like I should just begin at the beginning. The first day. It was not what I expected at all. I hated it. And I don't think I said that in the video, like where I vlogged my first day, but I absolutely hated it. I did not like it at all. I think I mentioned that it was not what I expected, but I did not like it. I was very disappointed that day. But luckily for me, the second day and beyond that, I absolutely loved it. I loved being there at that hospital. I really liked the people in terms of the consultants and the residents. I was able to mesh with them well. I loved it, basically. And my group members were just awesome. They were the best. And we got along really well together, so that was just amazing. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm an introvert. I'm not like super introverted, but I'm definitely an introvert, and I feel like my introvertedness has increased, or maybe it has been the same. I don't know, because maybe it's just because I was home for like a whole year and a half due to, you know, school being online and, you know, just being in my own presence all the time. Because, I mean, if you're by yourself, at least for me, I enjoy my own company. So, you know, being in my own presence, I was like, you know, I was with me was with me, and we were great. We were vibing. You know, everything was great. So I considered myself to be a little bit more extroverted. But of course, if I'm hanging out with me, then of course I'm extroverted, right? But now having to be, you know, with people, I found myself not wanting to do that. and getting quite drained every time, and it was just it was just too much. So I was so glad that, you know, the bus would come for us to take us from the hospital back to campus around 2 o'clock. That way I can get back to my room, recharge, and, you know, get to studying. But then we had to spend a longer time, and what was I talking about? Oh, right. So the fact that I'm introverted, right? I was gonna use that to tie into the whole rotation thing. It takes me a while to get used to people, and I know that now. I think I kind of knew that before, but I know that for sure now. Like the first week, okay, it takes me like definitely a few days to a week to get used to people. I know that now. And like for the first week of that rotation, I was like just trying to get a feel and a vibe of the residents and the consultants and the interns, trying to see what they're like. That way I can, you know who to talk to about certain things, and, you know, do I even want to talk to those people about certain things? Do I even want to talk to them at all? You know, stuff like that. That's just me. So yeah, I was just feeling around, you know, seeing what type of people they are. And luckily for me, I like them. Yeah, we meshed really well. So yeah, during the first week, that was what I was doing. I didn't really want to talk. Honestly, I don't really like talking to people when I'm just trying to get used to them. But, you know, rotations and all. And by the way, now that I've brought this up, I feel like clinical rotations were just made for extroverts. It's too much talking. It's it's a whole lot of talking. And that's just how medicine is in general anyways, but it's a lot of talking. They're asking you so many questions, like back to back to back questions. There are questions everywhere. And obviously you have to answer, because what are you gonna do? Like, you're a med student, that's what you're there to do. You're there to learn. So yeah, and oh, right, that's what I wanted to say too. You're there to learn, but somehow their method of teaching is to ask you questions, and it feels like you're just being tested every single day. And I kind of get why it's like that. Like, because, you know, it's not a formal way of teaching when you're at the hospital. It's not like yeah, there's a time where they sit you down and they teach you, but the majority of the time you're just on rounds with patients, and when you're with the consultant, you're most likely on rounds, right? So the time that they have to teach you is that time. So you're walking and talking, so you don't have much time to go into the whole nitty-gritty of every single thing. So I guess they want to like get a feel of what you know, that way they can build on it. So they first start off with like, okay, if we're talking about appendicitis, right, they would be like, okay, so what do you know about appendicitis? Instead of just saying, so appendicitis is a blah 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 blah, and this is how it presents and this is how you treat it. They're just gonna try to get a feel of what you know, that way they can build on it. But, you know, what we're accustomed to in the first 2 years of med school is literally lectures and learning about things. So the idea that, I guess, most med students, or at least for me, okay, I'm gonna just speak for me. When you say you're gonna teach us, I was expecting start from the beginning type of teachers, but no, that's not what they do. And I like I said, I see why. It saves time than, you know, to have to go through every little detail, because one, it's not necessary, and two, they don't have the time. So yeah, that was challenging for me, because a lot of things, like, I knew them, but it wasn't at the front of my brain, so I couldn't just speak about them. Like when they asked about it, I was like, I don't know, I don't remember this. But then when like the students in my group who did remember started speaking about it, or when the doctors started speaking about it, like the little details and stuff, then I was like, oh yeah, I knew that, right? But it wasn't at the front of my brain, so I couldn't answer some of the things. And that contributed to the to the making me feel dumb part. They didn't mention that in this video before, but yeah, there was a lot of dumb feeling moments, and I have never really, have I felt that before? Maybe I have, but not to that extreme. Like sometimes I just wanted to crawl into a hole and never come out. Oh boy. Wow, this thing is really rough, boy. The other thing too was, for me, was that there were so many people. On the first firm that we started on, there were at least like 7 doctors. And plus you had my group members who, you know, at first I was not accustomed to because I didn't know them. But eventually I got used to them and I got used to everyone, so yeah. But at the same time, it didn't feel good to be asked questions in front of everyone, especially when I didn't know how to answer it. Yeah, so that's that. I think I've gone on enough about the fact that I don't like to be in front of a lot of people all the time. What else is there to talk about? So apart from, you know, being with the consultants and the residents and being asked a whole bunch of questions every single day, you had the patient interaction part. And honestly, I know a lot of people talk about how they enjoy talking to the patients and oh, they enjoy sitting down and getting to know the patients, but honestly, it is not something that I particularly enjoy. It takes a good few minutes to, you know, take a history from a patient, especially when they don't like give you everything in the way you want it, in terms of you can ask them a question and they won't answer that question. Like you could ask them how bad is the pain on a scale of 1 to 10 and they just say it hurts. It hurts really bad. Yeah. I guess if they say it's hurting a lot, then I could say that's a 10. But things like that, it increases the time for history taking. And sometimes I just feel drained after taking a history. But sometimes I would say, I guess sometimes I do enjoy taking a history from patients, especially when I remember there was this one guy. he was so funny. I can't even remember exactly like what to say that he was saying, but he was just hilarious. He made it a whole lot easier for me to just be relaxed and just talk to him, for us to converse. But yeah, I'm not one of those people who like, I love talking to the patients. It's so amazing to hear all their life stories and everything. It's not for me. Okay, so future gems here. I wanted to include that, you know, history taking can also be depressing. Like, patients tell you their entire life story sometimes. You know, you talk about their family history. Sometimes they have lost people who are very close to them, like their parents, their spouses. And sometimes, like, because you have to talk about their social history as well, sometimes they go into detail about it. Like I once had a patient who told me about him and his wife, and they were married and they separated. And I can see that was really hard for him to tell me that and to, you know, just think about it. It was really saddening, and I am just a very empathetic person, so I feel what the person is feeling and all of that. So, you know, I tried my best to console him, and I think it worked because, you know, he smiled afterwards. But at the same time, like, history taking is a very important part. It's the time you get to connect with the patient on a different level, and you get to see like the patient isn't just, you know, a person with an illness. They're more than that. They're a human being with feelings, but they're ill, and you want to get to the root of it. But you also want to be that person that they can confide in and that they can trust and all of that. So history taking, yeah, it's a lot, and it's really and truly an art that you have to perfect. I don't know if it can be perfected, but it's a lot, and you have to really practice to be really good at it, which I am not. So I've just started my medical training, so I will continue to practice. Back to the video. So yeah, that's one thing. And then we had to deal with the whole component of, you know, being there all day, because, you know, they changed the time to the bus coming at 4. So we were pretty much there all day. And then having to come back, rejuvenate myself, you know, eat something. And, oh, there's a bee. There's a bee outside. Ugh. Right, rejuvenate myself and then start studying. For those of you who are new here, I'm also preparing for step 1, and these clinical rotations have pushed me back a lot, okay? I did not accomplish what I wanted to by the end of the year. 1 second, again, I need to blow my nose. I hate being sick. Who likes to be sick? I don't know. There are some people actually who like to be sick. It's a psychological thing. Anyways, what was I talking about? I don't remember what I was talking about. Right, okay. I watched it and now I remember. Yay. Right, so yeah, rotations put me back a whole lot in terms of what I wanted to accomplish in studying for step 1. But I think I now had an idea of, you know, how to incorporate it into studying both for, you know, my in-school exams and also for step 1. But apart from that, it was a struggle on its own to just be studying for clinicals and my in-school exams, because I did not have the energy to. I did not have the energy after that long day to just sit down in front of a book and read. I really did not. So that was a struggle in itself. And then sometimes after I read a topic, I forget everything. And so if they ask me something about it the next day, it's like, okay, I read this, but it's not there, right? So, you know, more not humiliation, but more of that feeling of like, I'm dumb kicks in, and it's a whole thing. But yeah, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna like stop here. I probably have more things to say in my mind, but that is basically the different emotions and like how I was feeling and stuff whilst being on this rotation. It was something else. It was something else. It was rough. It was a lot. Med school is, whew. And then there was one time too, like I really wanted to just come back to my room after that really long day in clinic and just like get it all off my mind and upload a video. But y'all, I was just too tired to do that. So I was like, okay, no, I can't do that right now. So I just went into my bed that night and slept. And then felt bad the next day because I didn't study anything. And it was it's a cycle. You go to the hospital, you feel dumb, come back feeling like all excited to study, so you're gonna like make sure you know something the next day. You come back, you feel too tired to study, you sleep, wake up the next day all disappointed because you didn't study, go to the hospital, don't know anything, and the cycle repeats. That's basically how it is. But luckily, my exams, I will say, went well. The OSCE went flawlessly. Actually, that's not true. It didn't go flawlessly, but it went better, way better than I expected. So yeah, guys, I'm done with my first rotation and I am so happy to be done. Internal medicine awaits, and I have heard nothing but bad things about that. So internal medicine, I see you. but I'm going to face you headstrong, and I'm going to come for you and rip you to shreds and pieces, little itsy bitsy pieces. I'm coming for you, internal medicine. Watch out. So yeah, guys, that is it for this video. It was probably a long video. If you liked it, if you enjoyed the rawness, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you're new and you like this video, feel free to browse through my channel and watch other videos that I have so you can get a feel of what I'm really like. And if you like those videos, hit subscribe. And if you are convinced enough to, do that from this video alone, hey, who am I to stop you? Feel free to subscribe and make sure you tap that notification bell, because YouTube has a thing that if you don't do that, you won't know when I upload a video, which is bad. And I miss how YouTube was back in the day, but I digress. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.